Yo, yo, yo. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everyone. My name is Justin Moore. I'm the founder of Creator Wizard, where I teach you how to find and negotiate your dream sponsorships. Back at it for another live stream today. Today, we're talking about Q2 brand deal strategies. Are you excited about that one? Are you excited? Let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from. It seems like my video is not working on Instagram though, which is very odd. I don't know why that is. Is my video working? Can you see me? Let's put it that way. That is so weird that it's not showing up on, it says welcome. Let me know. Can you let me know in the chat if you're seeing my video? Because my video is not showing up on Instagram. That's so weird. It's just showing the scrolling banner on the screen here. Let me try a couple different views here. What if I do this? Yes, yes, yes. Can we see? Are we seeing? Let me know in the chat here if you're seeing me, because my video, it's so weird that my video is not showing up over there. It's super weird. Okay, here we go. It's not working on YouTube. Why is it not working on YouTube? That is very bizarre. Okay, now it's showing up over there. No, can you hear me? Dakota says it's not working on YouTube. Okay, wait, I think it might be working now. Let's see. Let's see if it's working. I just went to a different view. I see you now. Thank you. This is weird. That was so weird. I've never had that happen before, ever. Okay, we're good. Yes, it's working. Thank the Lord. All right, good to see you here, Mark, and my ADV 360, Dakota. We've got Catherine Preston here tuning in. Good to see you here. All right, yes, we've got Funbird12 tuning in on Instagram. All right, it's good on the tubes. That is so weird. I've never seen that happen before. David, the digital creator on Instagram. Well, great to see you guys here. I'm going to be real with you guys, man. I have been working my absolute butt off for my in-person event, which is starting on this Sunday, which is crazy, in San Antonio, Texas. Registration just closed for the event yesterday or 2 days ago. So yeah, I've been, I mean, I wish I could share everything that I've got up my sleeves for this event, but a lot of it, I want it to be a secret. Because we're just doing, not just with the gameplay itself, but with some of the things that the grand prize winner and the finalists are going to receive as part of the sponsor tank. Well, first of all, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I have this in-person event that I'm putting together called Sponsor Games, where I'm turning my 8-step sponsorship wheel methodology that I talk about in my book Sponsor Magnet into 8 games that creators are going to be playing to learn and master these concepts. So the pitch game and the negotiate game, and you're going to be doing breakout groups with other creators. I might be pulling some people on stage, doing some real-time coaching. So there's going to be so many awesome things that we're going to be doing at the event. And we're just like absolutely balling out on catering, and it's going to be really fun. So, but I have just been so exhausted trying to put this thing together. And so I'm probably going to sleep for 3 months at the end of that. Today, though, we are talking about Q2 brand deal strategies. Well, first of all, I just want to say here, like, I appreciate you guys are here. Like, I'm going to give you my all. I don't know if I'll run out of energy or not, but like I commit to doing this live. I have committed to doing this live stream every single week for, I guess, almost 4 years now, which is kind of wild to think about. But it's one of my favorite things that I do in my business. And just in life in general, is like hanging out with you guys every week. And so if I am not like falling on the floor sick, or if I'm not traveling, then I'll be here. So I'm here. I'm excited to be here today. We've got Mia tuning in on Instagram, Chad Book Club, Leo Toller, Love Food More. We've got Delilah on Instagram. Good to see you all here. All right. So as you know, these live streams are for y'all. So any questions that you have around brand deals, negotiations, partnerships, things like that, I'll be answering those questions a bit later in the live stream. So if you want to drop those in the chat, I'll make sure to scroll back up and get to them. But I first wanted to talk about Q2 brand deal strategy. So the first thing just explain is like, what does Q2 mean? So Q2 is quarter 2. So what a lot of brands do is that they allocate their marketing budgets on a quarterly basis. So we're about to finish quarter 1, which is January, February, March, in just a couple weeks here. And then quarter 2 starts, which is April, May, June. And the reason that this is important for you as a creator, as an influencer, is to understand that oftentimes brands allocate their marketing budgets to this schedule throughout the year. So, all of a sudden, you may have reached out in the past and the brand was just like, oh, sorry, we don't have any more money in our budget left. That probably meant that they didn't have any more budget in that quarter. And so that doesn't mean that you should never talk to them again for another 9 months. It should be like, no, well, first of all, clarify, does that mean your quarterly budget? And then, time to reach out. Probably now would be a good time to reach out about their quarter 2 budgets, because the moment that April 1st hits, oftentimes they're able to unlock different types of budgets. I can candidly share that, I just forged a partnership with a brand who allocates it on a semi-annual basis. So they have what's called an H1 and an H2 budget. So H1 meaning that the first 6 months of the year. So I was able to get like a pretty lucrative sponsorship for that H1 budget, and they have specific initiatives for that H1 budget. So I'll get into that. But the first thing I want to talk about is like the very first place that I always start when it comes to understanding what my pitching angle should be when I reach out to a brand is researching the Q2 campaigns that brands were running in previous years. So I talk about in my book Sponsor Magnet, which you can see at the bottom of the screen here, sponsormagnet.com. If you haven't picked up a copy, you want to go back and look and see what types of campaigns were they running on social media last year. Preferably, I would focus probably a bit later in Q2, probably June 1st, what types of campaigns they were running then. Looking at their, Instagram, looking at their press releases, looking at their job boards potentially could be an interesting thing. Even now, if they're trying to recruit for influencer support, this type of thing. Can be very useful to understand how to what type of angle you should use to reach out to that brand. The other thing I would say is how important it is to craft Q2 specific pitches. So I talk about in my book something called the ROPE method, which is my pitching methodology. So R stands for relevant to a campaign that the brand ran last Q2, right? O stands for organic, meaning that you can tie your pitch back to organic work that you've already published that illustrates that your audience has an affinity for their brand or their product. P stands for proof, so you can show how you've helped other brands achieve results. And E stands for easy to execute, when the brand says, yeah, this actually sounds kind of interesting. And so using that ROPE method with a seasonal twist for summer or for Mother's Day, Father's Day, graduations, other Q2 type seasonal events. Even, I have a lot of creators, businesses reach out to me saying that like, Justin, I do not focus on consumer face. I have like a very focused niche business, or I'm in like kind of in B2B, like business to business. My industry is very small. And so I always will also encourage like, what are the seasonal moments, the conferences, the trade shows, other things that are relevant within your industry that can also work very well for a Q2 specific pitch. Is this making sense? Drop it in the chat here if this is making sense. If you normally lurk here, drop a 1 in the chat. Drop a monkey with the eyes, hands over the eyes, because I need to know that you're here. Shauna, what's going on? We got Shauna in the chat here. We've got Lenas Amar, Yummy with Amy. We've got Derek's Lawn Rescue. Big shout out to Derek's Lawn Rescue, who just DM'd me this morning with a selfie with the book. Derek, that was huge of you. Thank you for sending me. Derek, can I show, is that wrong? Let me know in the chat. Can I show on screen the selfie that you sent me? I know you said you had morning hair, but I want to show everyone the selfie that you sent me. So I'm going to wait just to get permission from you, because that was super cool. Derek says, I'm watching this now while at work and will rewatch to take notes. I've never done this before, but after starting the book, I sent off 3 pitches this morning before I went to work. Can we give it up in the chat for Derek for sending out his first 3 pitches? That deserves a round of applause, Derek. I'm so proud of you that you just took the initiative, man. You read the chapter and you were like, I could do this. I could send out a pitch. Let's go. I'm proud of you, Derek. Boris said, yo, what's up? Oh, we got Boris in the chat here. What's up, Boris? Good to see you, man. Okay, I'm gonna pull up Derek's photo, because don't you want this to be you? Y'all, this is the picture that Derek just sent me this morning. He sent me this picture outside. He just got the delivery with the book, and look at that. So if you want me to feature your selfie pick up the book, sponsormagnet.com. Oh my gosh, we've got LaShonda from Bootstrap Biz Advice here in the live stream as well. LaShonda says, happy to be here. Love learning from you, Justin. I just did a guest session, a guest workshop in LaShonda's community, in her membership community. And it was so much fun. And so I'm so thankful for you to be here as well, LaShonda. It was super appreciative of that. And I just want to give a quick shout out to Boris as well. Boris has just been such a kind advocate for me in my business over the last number of months as well. And Boris's specialty is SEO, which is search engine optimization. He has a whole business around this. And like out of the kindness of his heart, he messaged me a couple weeks ago and was just like, I noticed that you did this kind of migration. I have a new site now at creatorwizard.com. And there was like a bunch of suggestions that he had about how we can improve the titles and the tags and how things were being linked. And like, when you do a migration like this, oftentimes like links get dead. So you may have like in search results, you may be ranking really highly, but when you click on it, it goes to a dead like 404 page. And so Boris was so kind. And he like out of the kindness of his heart, just like fixed it all for me. I did beg to pay him, but he refused. So I just wanted to say thank you to you, Boris. That was super kind of you. And so if anyone here ever needs any support with SEO, search engine optimization, go check out, hit up Boris on LinkedIn because he's a great guy. Let's see here. So let's see here. LaShonda says, you were incredible. Everyone loved it. I appreciate that. One thing I learned from you, and I actually really like this, LaShonda, was LaShonda actually asked if people would leave real-time testimonials during like right at the end of the event and just like kind of scan a QR code. And that was super cool. And she was able to email me like 3 or 4 testimonials right away. I'm sorry, I haven't responded to you yet, LaShonda, but I just was preparing for this live stream. And so I thought that was a really cool and unique thing. And I just thought that was really cool. So thank you for doing that. Benji's dad said, what's going on, everyone? I got the book, Justin, and I am loving it so far. Benji's dad, I super appreciate that, man. And I'm so thrilled to hear that the book has been effective for you. If anyone here has read the book and found value from it, would you mind leaving a review? That would mean so much to me. I actually have a link that you can go to. It's just sponsormagnet.com/review. And it'll take you straight to Amazon to leave a review there. And it would mean so much to me. I'm already at like 53 ratings already, which is just wild to me. And that's like the number one thing that helps in the early days after a book launches is just leaving a review. If you want extra credit, leave a review with a photo of the book, like a selfie, like Derek did. Or if you want like triple gold stars, what about making a video review? Like who's brave enough to do that? And if you're in the Amazon Influencers program, you could potentially receive commission if someone watches your video and then purchases the book right away. What about that? Wouldn't that be sick? So yeah, that would mean the world to me if you left a review. Sponsormagnet.com/review. Dakota says, I have left a review, dude, and I super appreciate it. You left a very, very kind review. So thank you. This is probably not good of me, but like I literally refresh the Amazon page like every couple times a week. I'm just like, was there any new reviews? Like, what do people think about me? Are they judging me? Sorry. Anyone here like feel that? Like I very much, writing a book was like so nerve-wracking. And so it's just like, I don't know. I'm just like on pins and needles, like hoping people find value from the book. So every time a new review comes in, it just makes me feel so good. And so I'm just being vulnerable, being honest here. This is actually how I am. All right. Okay. As a reminder, make sure to drop your questions for me in the chat. I am going to get to those as soon as possible. I did want to keep plugging along here on our topic at hand, which is Q2 brand deal strategies. So we talked about how important it is to research the campaigns that they were running last quarter two, preferably later in the quarter, since we're almost at the end of quarter one. And one thing I didn't mention is that the reason that you want to go later in the quarter in terms of reviewing like June type campaigns is that oftentimes it takes several months for the brands to plan these types of things. And they're not going to be able to turn things around super quickly. Like, hey, let's do something April 1. And they're like, hold on a second here. That's literally 3 weeks away. My kid's out at spring break and I'm going to be on vacation. And just like people are traveling and sick and all that. So you need like time to actually send these pitches out, get on discovery calls with them, negotiate the agreement, get the contract, go back and forth on the contract, send the concepts, get feedback from them on the, produce the content, get feedback from them, publish the content, analyze the content. Wow. Well, those were a lot of steps, Justin. How do you know all those steps? How can you rattle them off so quickly? Well, it's because I outlined the 8 steps that you should follow in my book, Sponsor Magnet. Are you guys ever going to get tired of me shamelessly shilling this? I thought that was really clever. Anyways, okay, let's move on right along. So let's talk about how important it is to target the right decision makers when you send these Q2 pitches out. So one thing I mentioned in the book is how you use something that I call kind of the magic search query to find exactly who handles partnerships at these brands for these Q2 campaigns that you're reaching out for. One thing I talk about very, very specifically, which is so important, is understanding that the titles that you want to target are going to change based on the scale of the organization. So if the brand has, less than 15 people, you're going to want to reach out to probably the only marketing person on their team, which is probably like the director of marketing, the marketing manager, maybe even the social media manager. Maybe they don't even really have a marketing manager, this type of thing. So yeah, those people are probably going to be the titles you want to reach out to. But as a company gets larger, let's say 15 plus employees, basically under 100 employees, that's when brands start, hiring more layers into their marketing organization. So they have, maybe a director of marketing, they have a marketing manager, they have a marketing coordinator, maybe they might have an influencer marketing manager at this point now. And so again, like the titles that you want to target definitely need to change to ensure that you locate the person who's probably the decision maker, here at this organization. Now, when you get to targeting very large brands, chances are that they may have delegated influencer marketing to an outside agency who's actually handling partnership strategy for that brand. So you may actually need to look for someone like the account executive at that PR agency or at that influencer agency that is handling those campaigns. So understanding who to reach out to is equally important as it is what you're saying, okay? Another thing I wanted to talk about is how important it is in order to try to upsell these deals into longer term arrangements that may be able to extend beyond Q2. Q2 could be the focus of what you're pitching, but when you put together packages for them, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's take a step back here. So when you reach out with a pitch, that is Q2 focus. The number one priority that you should have is trying to get this brand on a phone call. Okay, that's the priority, because that's when you can ascertain and ask the questions that you need to be able to scope this deal. So you may have reached out about some specific thing that you saw them doing last year, and they may say, well, you know what, Justin, love the initiative here, but we're actually not doing that again this year, or we're focusing on this thing over here instead. Is that interesting to you? Because we'd love to talk with you about that thing. Great, awesome information. Time to pivot to this thing over here that the brand is interested in, right? Because they just told you. And so this is a big takeaway that I share is that don't go into these calls, don't go into these interactions with brands with this very, very fixed mindset of this is the way we're going to do it. This is the only way I do YouTubes and take it or leave it. And this type of thing. No, it's okay, great. That's your focus. Sure. I could totally talk about that focus if we were to collaborate, right? And so when that becomes the number one goal of these discovery calls or these interactions, then you basically pivot to create a custom proposal for them around this concept. And so this is where you can, even though they're asking you for options for this Q2 campaign, just you do not need to be limited by just that. You could send them other packages with Q3 ideas, with Q4 ideas. Heck, what would a 12-month partnership look like? The critical thing here to realize, though, is that you're not just offering them more. This is another big mistake that people make that I talk about in my book, Sponsor Magnet, is that the only variance between the packages that people send over for this Q2 deal is quantity. They're saying, okay, if you pick package 1, I'll do 1 integrated, YouTube video, and package 2, or let's for variety's sake, let's say a newsletter, right? I'm going to do 3 newsletter blasts in, Q2 or something like that. And then, package 2 is 4 blasts. Package 3 is 6 blasts, right? And so the only variance between those packages are quantity. And maybe the only incentive that a brand has to pick, that top package is a price concession. So you're giving them a discount for picking the top package or whatever, but which again is not that compelling to a brand, especially if they've never worked with you before, right? They want to probably kick the tires a bit. They want to see how this first one goes. And so they're like, nah, if we want to hire him again, we'll just come back, right? And so we're not going to pick that top package. And so a better approach is that, especially if you were on this inbound or this discovery call with the brand, they probably gave you a lot of different objectives. They said, well, these are our Q2 objectives, but we're also trying to do this, throughout the year. The year-long goal is, to do this or to this. I'll just share like a quick anecdote. I was on a phone call with the prospective sponsor for my event. It didn't end up happening, but that's okay because we're talking about some other types of partnership ideas. But they told me, I asked them like, what are their quarterly goals? What is their like kind of year-long goal? And this contact basically said like, I'll just be like totally real with you. I'm the director of marketing, but my boss, which is like the CEO or whatever, the goal that I'm being held to in my job is I need to get basically X thousand number of new leads into our email list, because, we're going to basically be sending them email marketing to get them to, sign up for our tool basically, once we get their email list. But that is the goal, is like X thousand number of leads. Wow, that's such great information. Perfect. And so even though we were just talking about kind of like a sponsorship for the event, didn't work out, doesn't matter. I now have this goal that I know that this is what they're being measured against. And so when I come back to them with a proposal, which I'm going to do after the event is over, is I'm going to tie everything to that goal. Everything that I recommend is going to be tied to that goal. I'm going to say, hey, let's do some sponsored live streams. Let's do some newsletter blasts together. Maybe you can sponsor, all the entire back catalog of my podcast, all, whatever, 50 episodes or whatever. Maybe I'll do a webinar with your team and we'll do this, blah, 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 blah. And the metric that I'm tying back to every single time is how many leads did we generate for your email list from this particular activation, right? And so it's so useful. And so now you could start to see, well, like, okay, yeah, they may have like wanted to just hire me for this one event or this one activation, but you better believe in my proposal, I'm going to put together 5-6 other packages that include, all sorts of variety of different things that I can do. And they'll start to realize that, wow, if I want to hit that X thousand, number of leads, which is their goal, Justin is saying that if I hire him for package 6, then that's going to get me super close to that goal. Now, of course, I cannot guarantee a certain number of registrations or a certain number of signups, but when I make it super abundantly clear that I know that their goal is that, what do you think is going to happen? And especially if I articulate that in the proposal, where page 1 is what I heard, trying to get X thousand number of leads by the end of 2025. That's goal number 1. Goal number 2 is blah, 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 right, whatever. And what do you think is going to happen when I put this proposal together for that director of marketing? You know what's going to happen? That director of marketing, in their next executive meeting with their superior, which is the CEO or the CMO or whatever, they're going to pull up this proposal. And remember, the CEO has never talked to me. The CMO has never talked to me. And they're going to look at this proposal and they're going to say, oh, wait, Justin's asking for $50,000? Oh, okay. But wait, go back to that slide. Oh, wow, this is great. He really understands. He really understands what we are trying to accomplish here at the company. And in fact, this is what all of our money, our budget is assigned to, is making this main metric happen. Okay, I get it now. I get why we have to pay Justin $50K, because he's helping get us closer to our objective. Is this making sense? Drop it in the chat if this is making sense. Come on, give me a praise hands emoji. Give me the money tongue guy, the dollar sign with the wings on it. You know what I'm just gonna do? Come on, let's go. Oh no, dude, this is so disappointing. I went to shoot the money gun and the money gun is blocked. The money gun, my kids were playing with the money gun. I'm not going to throw my kids under the bus, but they were playing with the money gun recently. Okay, let me see if this works here. Is this making sense? It got stuck again, guys. It got stuck again. I think I need some more fake money because the money is getting stuck. Okay, hold on. I need to do this now. This is like, guys, come on, drop it in the chat here. Is this making sense? The side note is that when you buy a money gun on YouTube, they send you like money that looks so real. You see this? It's not real. All right. I am going to put the money back in. and I'm going to do a proper money gun blast. All right. Is this making sense? Is this making sense? Aaron, my ADV 360, Rob from WTF Divorce, Cameron Martinez says darn kids. Is this making sense? That's right. There we go. There we go. All right. Are we feeling good, guys? Are we feeling good? Are we ready to send out those Q2 pitches? Oh my God, there's a money that fell on top of the screen here. Oh my God, what just happened? There it is. Okay. Sorry. All right. So this is one of the biggest takeaways that I want you to have over this whole kind of Q2 experiment, or this whole Q2 thing that we're talking about, is ensuring that what you're pitching is tied to the brand's objectives, either in the current quarter or in past quarters of the campaigns that they were running. The other one more kind of very important thing to realize here is that you do not need to reinvent the wheel. I think a lot of people, I've had feedback that my pitching methodology seems so simple. It's like, you're basically leading with something that's relevant to them. You are, linking like a very specific post that illustrates that your audience potentially would be interested in that brand. You're saying, hey, I helped this other brand achieve results, and here's exactly what I'm telling you I'm going to do for you. This. These 3 videos, these usage rights, I can get the content to you in this amount of time. Are you free to chat on Thursday? This type of thing. And a lot of people, they see that and it just seems too simple. It's just like, don't I need to like tell them how many followers I have? And like, here's something interesting. I did a dry run of my sponsor games event last week or the week before, and I had about 20 creators on there participate virtually live over Zoom, and it was amazing. And I had a creator who has 8 million followers on there, and we were doing some real-time pitch practice. So I said, okay, pretend I'm your dream brand. Come on here. I'm going to pull you up to the stage, pitch me, basically. And then I kind of we did this real-time role-playing thing. And what was so interesting is that so this creator led with how many subscribers they have, right? I've got 8 million, I've got 10 million subscribers on YouTube. I've got this. And my very first piece, and it was a good pitch. Like, it was a solid pitch. They're a great person. I know them really well. But my biggest piece of feedback to them is like, lose the number of subscribers. Brands don't care. There's a lot of people who have lots of followers on the internet. How are you different? You know how you're different? You lead with what's important to them. Even though you might have millions of subscribers and millions of followers or whatever, brands do not have random piles of money lying around to pay people who reach out with 10 million subscribers. They don't have that. They don't have this to just laying around on their desk to be like, oh yeah, I got an email here. Sure. Here's a bunch of money. They don't have that. You know what they have? They have money for their own initiatives. Money for their own initiatives. You know what they're called? They're called budgets. That's what they have money for. So stop leading with how many followers you have. And look, remember we talked about the O in the rope method, the organic, you're linking them a post. And so when you link to that video on your YouTube channel, what do you think is the very first thing they're going to do? They're going to click your profile photo and be like, wow, this person has 8 million followers. So you don't need to tell them, you don't need to flex. You don't need to be like, look at me, I've got all these followers, all these subscribers. The brand doesn't care. It's about them. Yes, a big part of why they're going to hire you is because of the organic distribution that you have, because of this reach that you have, but stop leading with that. What's in it for them? Is this making sense? Drop it in the chat if this is making sense. Olivia says, haha, budgets. Yes, right? This is what they have money for. They don't have money to just pay you just because you're awesome. This is actually a really humbling thing. Like I think I probably more than anyone, or maybe, I don't know. That's a hard line to say, but like I have on a daily and weekly basis, I have people in my DMs with millions and millions of followers every day. So when I say to you, even if you have millions of followers, that you are not unique, there are lots of people who have lots of followers on the internet. Right. And these people are telling me like, Justin, I even though I have all these millions of followers, I am not getting a lot of opportunities, or brands are just not really reaching out to me. Or like when I reach out to them, I get ghosted and I say, okay, well, send me a sample of your pitch, this type of thing. And this is what like 99% of the pitches look like, is just like, hi, I'm, Justin, I have, 3 million followers, 10,000 followers, whatever it is. And this is my demographics and this is the types of people in my audience and blah, 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 blah. And the brand just deletes the email immediately because they don't know you. They don't know who you are. There's lots of people who have lots of followers on the internet. Why is this? You're saying, oh, would love to figure out a way to collaborate. And this person thinks, I don't know this person. I don't know how I could collaborate with them. And so they delete your email. They don't respond. This is what happens, right? And so you have to lead with what is in it for them. Is this making sense? Is this making sense? Drop it in the chat here. Let me know. Is this making sense? Guys, come on. There's a bunch of you here today, and this is what it's feeling like. I need you guys to light up the chat right now to make me feel better, because this is not okay with me. I'm only seeing a little bit of people, like a little bit of engagement here. And this is not fun when you don't comment, when you don't ask me questions. So you got to pull your weight here. If I'm going to show up every week and do these live streams and answer your questions, you can't lurk. That's like an implicit promise, a rule that we have here, is that we got to light up the chat here. Okay. Liz, we got Liz Bianco here. We've got Derek's Lawn Rescue, K&J Lumber, is saying the best live stream on YouTube. There we go. Okay, there we go. Dakota's saying woot. WTF divorce. Rob says WIFM. We are in it for the money. What does that stand for? I don't know what that means. Working from home. Maybe that means working from home. I don't actually know. POV Paul says yes. Yes. POV Paul says I want a money gun. Well, if you were coming to sponsor games in San Antonio in 5 days, you might be able to get one. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. Got a few things up my sleeve here. We got Aaron saying, yes, it's making sense. Living with Parkinson's. Yes, making sense. Love to talk about it. All right. Catherine Preston says, this is a great question, actually. Okay. So before I dive into the question here, are we feeling good here? Q2 brand deal strategies. Who is going to commit right here on this live stream to send out some pitches? Derek just sent 3 pitches out this morning, and he just bought the book. He got the book this morning. Before he went to work, he was like, I'm going to bang out some pitches. Right? Okay. All right. So no excuses here. We're going to send out our Q2 pitches. You know, one thing I was actually thinking about doing, you guys probably know this, that I have a coaching program called Wizards Guild. And one thing that I do that's actually kind of a secret thing, I don't really talk about it a lot, but so I actually do a monthly live call in my coaching program. I advertise and I market the coaching program as like fully asynchronous, which means that like there's no live calls. You don't have to like worry about missing calls because we're all busy and all that. And so the coaching that you get is asynchronous. So we'll send you like a video or a voice note or whatever. And I really like that aspect about it. But this kind of surprise and delight thing that I do is I do this kind of like monthly call, and it's really fun. And one thing I was talking with people on the private call last week was thinking about maybe creating some kind of like accountability calls where we basically, it's almost like a co-working session where it's like once a week, once every 2 weeks or whatever, where we all sit on Zoom. And I'm not teaching, I'm not doing anything, or maybe it's not even me, it might be one of my coaches or something. And we are just sitting there. And that time, all of us have that time on our calendar to send out our pitches, work on the pitches, follow up with people that we pitched previously. If people have a question, they can ask, whatever. But like mainly it's just like, let's all kind of silently co-work together to know that we can kind of turn this thing into a pitching habit. And so that really is something I'm thinking about, because like my goal at the end of the day is like, how do I best enable and empower y'all to move forward in your businesses? And so I'm just constantly thinking about ways to improve the coaching program. So I got a big resounding thumbs up from everyone about that idea. So thinking about Q2 and beyond, what we're going to do there. So pretty excited about that. Dakota says, I may have to buy another book. Just gave away another copy the other day. Dakota, that is ridiculously kind of you. And you know what I want to say to you, Dakota, is can you email me? Because I'm going to send you 10 books for free. Because you have been so kind to me and such an incredible advocate that I just want to like ship you the books. And that's you've already bought a bunch of copies for other people. So that's what I'm going to do for you, because I appreciate you. So 10 books are on me. So hit me up. Okay, let's see here. Rob from WTF Divorce says, used a Wizard Guild tip from Joe today with our sponsor. They said they loved our response of this. Boom. Dude, I absolutely love to hear that, man. I'm so thrilled. Like, keep me posted on that one because that is super cool. Oh, let's see. It's what WIIFM means. What's in it for me? Exactly. There we go. Okay, I got it now. Your Tampa Bessie says, me. My new name will be Mrs. Pitch Them. There we go. That's what I love to see. I love the commitment here. POV Paul says it's all about the U frame and not the I frame, how we can support our clients. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Rock Talk Studio says, I'm in. 3 more will go out today. That's what I love. I think I might have seen an email from you, Rock Talk Studio. Did I? Didn't get a chance to respond to it. Maybe you could ask the question live here. My inbox is an absolute mess right now because, just trying to do everything for this event. So that would actually help me out if you can ask the question live, because I may not be able to get back to you. All right. So I want to answer Catherine's question here. Catherine Preston. How do you build credibility without talking about your background? So the credibility, the background, the way in which you build the credibility is with the organic post that you link. So in the pitch, the first sentence is about them. It's like, hey, I saw you were doing this, or I saw that this is important to you based on my research, right? That's the first sentence. And then the second sentence is where you build your credibility. You said, I often talk about this XYZ subject. And then you link that post, right, where you say often talk about to my audience of blah, 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 and talk about, what this is. But it's really the heavy lifting that's being done is the thing that you're linking. So they link that post, the thing that you talked about that's relevant to, the campaign that the brand is working on. And that's what's doing the heavy lifting. You're not talking about yourself in the email and in the email pitch itself. You're actually talking about them and tying the organic post to that. One thing a lot of my students do in my coaching program or students in my course is video pitches. So if you're someone who is, comfortable on camera, there's actually kind of a version of this rope pitch that you can do on a video that's very, very effective. I've actually gotten it down to a science where I basically just I pick up my camera like this. I use the kind of landscape version like this. And I do the pitch in 45 seconds, like a rope pitch. I've done it so many times that I can do it in 1 or 2 takes now. And then I upload the video unlisted on my YouTube channel. And that's what I send in the pitch. And so the email is kind of like a modified rope pitch where I just talk about saw you were doing this, just recorded a video with blah, 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 Justin, this type of idea. And that works really, really well. It works really, really well. So again, I don't know if that's helpful, Catherine, but that is my recommendation there. So Bearded IT Dad says, yes, that would be, yeah. Oh, that would be amazing. Yes, dude. Are you kidding me? That's the least I can do. Derek says, I will send out 3 more after work. Love to see it. Yeah, keep sending those pitches, man. All right, so okay, so Bearded IT Dad has a question here. This is good, Dakota. Do you have any recommendations for pitching events to get paid speaking deals? So I've actually done this before, and I have leveraged my existing audience and my existing distribution as part of that. So I was pitching a conference. This was a couple years ago now, and as part of this negotiation, I basically said, "Hey, in addition to the compensation, or as part of the compensation and the accommodations and travel and all that." To get me to come out, I can talk about the fact that I'm going to be speaking to my audience of, at the time, it was 20,000+ creators on my newsletter as part of this. And they said, where do we sign? Right? Because everyone in my audience was their exact desired attendee persona that they were hoping to target. And so you absolutely can be thinking creatively about how to leverage your existing distribution, whether it's on YouTube, socials, newsletter, podcast, whatever it is, to potentially drive ticket sales or attendance for the event. So that's really what I would do, Dakota. Motivational Mark Dorcius says, do you think the rope pitching method would work well over the phone? 100%, dude. 100%. I have done this so many times on initial discovery calls with brands that it works crazy well. This especially works well if you're ever given a warm introduction to a brand. You know, the rope pitching method is very much kind of geared towards typically cold outreach when the brand doesn't know who you are. It can absolutely work as a response to a brand that comes inbound to you as well, for sure, when you're pitching them on like why you're the best person for the job. But what I have found is that when you get a warm introduction where someone, you know, maybe they're already working with one of your friends and your friend, they like CC you on an email, or, you know, something happens, you know, you meet someone at a conference or whatever, and then you follow up over email. When you have a warm connection, then the first thing that happens is like, let's hop on a call. Let's talk about it. You absolutely should still do the research component required for the relevancy component of the rope method in advance of the call, so that you can be smart. You know, you can, like, wow, this person did research before the call. And then you hit them with a rope pitch live over the phone. You'd be like, hey, I saw that you were running this campaign last year. Are you going to be running that again this year? And then you pause, right? So in this situation, when you're on a call, you have to wait for their response. Let them talk. And they said, this is so useful because I often talk about XYZ. Now we're in the organic portion of this, right? And then you can say, oh, I can send you that post after, like as an example, or the YouTube video I made or whatever that, you know, kind of illustrates that my audience is like, you know, really hungry for these types of solutions. And then you say, yeah, you know, I've done this before with, you know, this other brand over here. So we're talking about the proof now, and, you know, happy to share that case study or whatever. And then you could say, you know, what I could do is I could actually do this. I could do some YouTube content. I could do newsletters, blah, 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 blah. And then just like shut up, see what they say. And if they say that they're interested, then you follow up with a proposal. However, caution here. If they say, yeah, this sounds great, how much will that cost? Instead of being backed into a corner, a lot of people that go, oh, $1,000, $20, right? And then you cry later. Don't do that. Say, I talk about this in the book, this kind of like verbatim recommendation of this wording of what you say when you're interacting with these brands. You say, oh, wow, this call was so useful. Thank you so much. Super appreciate it. You know, I need a little bit more time to, you know, think about this, to talk to my team, to think this over, blah, 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 blah. You say one of those things. You know, I'm going to come back to you with a custom proposal, actually. You know, usually what I do is I'm going to put together 3 to 4 packages to give you a sense of how we can bring this partnership to life. Do you have a sense, brand? Do you have a sense of what we should set those 3 to 4 tiers at from a budget feasibility perspective? And then you shut up. You don't say anything. You lean into the silence and you see what they say. And this might be shocking, but about 75% of the time, they will tell you a range. It's mind-blowing. People think I'm nuts when I say this, but like I've done this across hundreds of negotiations. My students have done it hundreds of times. 75% of the time, they will literally tell you, oh, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, or 500,000, 1,500, or 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. I've literally had a brand say this to me when I asked them this, and I thought that their budget was going to be minuscule. I don't know why I went into this thinking that like, I don't know if this is going to really work out. Like, I don't think they have a big budget. I thought it was going to be like, you know, a couple grand or something, which is not nothing, but I had low expectations. And the brand literally said 25, 30, 35K to me. I was like, okay, great. Right. And so I like let them lead with that. And it was dope. And I put the proposal together and it was so great. So anyways, yeah. And by the way, the remaining 25% of the time when they don't tell you the range, they're going to say, we don't know, we don't have a budget. You tell us, we've never done this before. You know, this type of thing, some kind of stonewalling. And in this scenario, my sincere advice is like, you're still putting packages together, right? You're still going to do this, but package 1 has to be your heck yeah number. Meaning that if they pick that lowest package, which is package 1, you still say, oh, let's go heck yes. Not, oh, I got to do this now. I was hoping they'd pick a different package. So you never want to be in that mind space, especially at the outset of the partnership. So yeah, this is my sincere advice is get on those discovery calls so it absolutely can work. Motivational Mark Dorcius. Dakota says, that line has made me so much money. That line has made me so much money. Dakota says, I would have pitched 1,000 and I said that one line and they came back with 10K. Guys, look at this. Drop it in the chat here for Dakota. Huge round of applause here. He is just like, I'm telling you guys, you don't need to reinvent the wheel with this stuff. This stuff works. This stuff works. I literally just worked with a brand this morning and they came back with 3 times more than I was planning. Holy cow. Holy cow. Congratulations, man. Super cool. I just want to give a big shout out to Dylan Poole, who I just saw join on Instagram. Dylan is going to be coming to my Sponsor Games event in literally T-5 days in San Antonio. I'm so incredibly excited for the event. I'm trying to see if there was other people who are coming to the event on here. I think so. I might have missed it, but yeah, I'm so excited for the event. Dylan, super stoked to hang out with you, to work with you. Yeah, we got a lot of really exciting stuff planned for the event. All right, we have reached the point. We already started answering questions, but in earnest, what are your questions about working with brands? Please let me know. I would love to answer your questions. We got a question here from Derek's Lawn Rescue that I just saw. How long should I wait before pitching a competitive company that I sent a pitch to this morning? Obviously, I picked one, but I don't want to cause any issues with a potential sponsor. So this is a great question. I would, well, first of all, let's talk about, how important it is to have integrity as a creator. Like, the last thing you want is to just be like, wheeling and dealing, doing deals with every single company. They're all competitive and there's literally no differentiation between all these companies. And I'm just like promoting them all. That's not a great look for you as a creator, obviously, because you will erode your integrity and your trust with your audience very quickly, right? So I really would recommend against that. But it is a legitimate question. If there are a couple different tools that you use in your business that would be effective for your audience, I would definitely start with just pitching one. And in fact, I would re-pitch that particular brand multiple times before giving up, even if you're not hearing back from them. So just the fact that you're not hearing from them doesn't mean that it might not work out. It's just that you need to be kind of the squeaky wheel. But again, you're not being annoying about it. You're saying like you're providing value, right? So I talk about in the book where, every single time that you're following up and interacting with a brand, you are sending them an interesting news article, or you're offering to do XYZ for them, or you're giving them a new idea related to a new seasonal promotion or whatever. You're not just being like, hey, just want to follow up on this pitch. Would love to work with you. That's going to get ghosted. That's going to get rejected. So definitely don't do that. So I would recommend, like, this is my sincere advice. This might be crazy. 4 follow-ups, even if you're not hearing back from them, before you move on to another brand. Is that crazy? I had a creator in my coaching program. Her name is Emma. She shared, this was last year. She shared that she pitched a brand 4 times without hearing back from them, and then finally heard back, and the brand was like, oh, I'm so sorry, we've just been so busy, but yes, thank you so much for bringing this to the top of my inbox. Let's move forward on a deal. 4 times. So she pitched the brand 4 times before she finally heard back from them. We got Eric T. Way from Carrot, Instagram startup royalty here, tuning in. Good to see you, Eric. Love to see it, man. And so Derek, 4 times without hearing back. This was, I got to share this crazy story about Emma, because she was the very first person. So she is in our private coaching program, and she's been here for almost 2 years now. And Emma was in the program for just a month or 2 before she saw like tremendous value in it. And we have an annual option for our coaching program. And she was the very first person who basically just said, you know what, this is so valuable that I'm just going to sign up for a year, because you get 2 months free when you sign up for a year. And so one day I just saw a $10,000 transaction come in, because for private coaching, it's, $1,000 a month or $10,000 for the year. And she just, boom, dropped it. And I was just like, and not only did she drop it that first time, she renewed for this year at that same rate. So, I don't know what it was about that particular moment, Emma in particular, as I wanted to give her a shout out, and she's shared a lot of this stuff publicly, that just like investing in your business in this way, where you realize that like, wow, I have this group of coaches on autopilot or on speed dial for me, that whenever I need support, I know that they're there. Because this is the thing about being as a creator, is that you could wake up one day and you have this opportunity in your inbox and you're like, I have no idea what to do here. Right. And so this is what I oftentimes share with people who are considering joining the coaching program, is like, you have to stretch the time horizon out on the return for the investment further than just like, let me sign up for a month and see if I can make the money back in a month. No, it's like, oftentimes it takes a longer time period to like sow the seeds, especially if you're in the beginning and you're just pitching brands. You might have to send out quite a few pitches to start getting traction. And so, looking at this as like a 3, 6, 12 month plus investment, in my opinion, is the right way to approach this, because like, at least this is how I've approached it over our career doing this 15 years, is that it takes sometimes a long time to build these relationships with brands and partners and sponsors. And so I don't know. I just, going back to this example here that you're sharing, Derek, about like, how long do I wait until I, potentially move on and pitch a different competitor? I think it's just realizing that like, you do have to have quite a bit of tenacity in realizing that, it might take a little while before you can hear back for a variety of reasons. All right, guys, this is very important. We have 99 concurrent viewers right now on YouTube. In particular, we have more on Instagram and stuff, but I need you to share the live stream because we need to break 100. Holy cow, let's break 100 concurrent viewers on YouTube. Can you guys all go share? You can click share the video. I think you can share it to your community tab, or share the live stream on your Instagram page or on Twitter or something. We got it. Come on. We got to tick this over. We're almost in 3 digits here. Concurrent viewers. All right. Okay. Rock Talk Studio. All right. Question here on Instagram. I listened to one of your videos last night where you suggested to ask a business to sponsor my podcast, kind of like asking someone to sponsor my son's little league team. Did I hear that right? Well, yeah. Why couldn't a business sponsor your podcast like that? Absolutely. I mean, I think that would be, maybe I'm misunderstanding, because yeah, absolutely. Like that would be, I think that would totally make sense if it was the right business, right? So maybe I'm misunderstanding what you're saying. Okay. Dakota says, I needed to hear that. I had a brand that I was pitching and it was going well, and then they ghosted me. I finally gave up, but maybe I'll try again. Yeah, I talk about in the book something that I call the Pinot method, because I love wine. PINOT. It's this framework of like, basically you're pitching them. When you're following up, you're sending different things. You're saying, okay, for this time I follow up, I'm going to say, hey, you didn't like that idea? Here's another idea. You're not saying that, but like, oh, I've got this other idea. What about this instead? Or you're doing a different seasonal idea. You're saying, hey, I know I pitched you for spring last time. How about summer, right? Like, let's go take a look at, this idea I have for the summer. Or, oh, I saw that you posted this thing over here on your email newsletter. Or I saw that your VP of marketing was on a stage at South by Southwest that's happening right now, and I heard they said XYZ, or I saw them posting on LinkedIn and they said XYZ. I have an idea about how we can spread the word about that particular initiative, right? And so every single time that you're following up, you're saying something different. And so if you by the way, if you haven't picked up a copy of Sponsor Magnet, I go through everything in the book. Also, holy cow, we just cracked 1,000, that would be crazy. 100 concurrent viewers. Guys, come on, let's go. Let's give it up for ourselves here. Everyone who shared the live stream, we did it. Next task is, can we get it to 200? Can we get it to 200? Let's go. All right. One thing I wanted to, what was I going to share? I was just about to share something. Rock Talk Studio gave us a little bit more context without making any content for them. Yeah, absolutely. It could be if it's an awareness focused campaign, Rock Talk Studio, you could say, hey, I will, put a badge on the cover art of my podcast, the Rock Talk Studio podcast powered by brand. And maybe you do have like a little, thing in the pre-roll of the podcast where you say, thanks so much to XYZ brand business for sponsoring the podcast. And that's it. You don't even talk about them. Again, maybe there isn't anything even in the show notes of the podcast, but again, it's because it's an awareness focused campaign. So yeah, you can absolutely do that. Guys, I did want to share something pretty crazy. I have not shared this publicly. This is the very first time I'm talking about this. I have made the gigantic decision to reduce the investment of my course, Brand Deal Wizard. Wow. So there's a lot of different reasons that I did this. But now that the book is out, I'm going to be totally honest. A lot of the things that I talk about in the course, I share in the book. The course is very different than the book in that it's videos. It's like I'm giving you real-time examples, real-time numbers. I share a lot of like actual examples of like negotiating with brands and things like that. It's things that I don't cover in the book. But I just feel as time goes on, I feel more and more compelled that like I want as many people as possible to go through the course because it gives you the baseline foundational knowledge and understanding how to reach out to these brands. The book is going to help a lot, but there's a lot of things that you don't get access to with the book, which is, for example, like my sponsorship pricing calculator. That's something that is only available in the course, and a bunch of other templates and case study, like the post-campaign report template and a bunch of case study templates. And like, there's all sorts of stuff, again, that you get in the course that you don't in the book. But I decided that I just want more people to have the program. And so previously my course was $1,500, $1,497, and I reduced the price to $997. So it's under $1,000 now. So if you are someone who has been, on the edge of whether or not you wanted to enroll in the program, you can take a look now, branddealwizard.com. And in fact, I have a even reduced payment plan option now that the price is reduced. Let me share the screen here so you can see what this is. This is so exciting. I'm so excited for this, that this is going to be more accessible now. Let's see here. Let me show you here. I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if this is bad. I got to figure out how to close this out. So if you scroll down here to the pricing section on branddealwizard.com, you can see that the course is either $997 for a one-time investment or $397, 3 installments of $397. So yeah, if you're interested in the course, you can go to branddealwizard.com, and let me actually pull it up on the screen. Here we go. branddealwizard.com. I guess I have to add it. Brand Deal Wizard course is now branddealwizard.com is now $997, which is crazy. So there's probably a bunch of people here in the chat who could vouch for it. I have, I taught this program live for many years as a live cohort. I now no longer do that. It's fully on demand. And you can binge this course in like 3.5 hours. And so if you've been kind of on the edge of thinking, I really think I would love to, get this baseline understanding of how to collaborate with brands, branddealwizard.com. So I'm very excited about this. All right, let's see here. What other questions that we got here? Man, this is crazy. I can't believe how quickly this live stream is going. And I made it, guys. I made it to the very end. I didn't know if I was going to be able to make it to the end with my voice, because I've been talking a lot. Okay. All right. So any final questions here? Everyone's saying here that I sent the live stream to a friend. I shared it on Twitter. Delilah is saying, remember to like the live stream. I shared it earlier, and will again. I super appreciate that. Really, really do. I wanted to real quickly mention something here. Living with Parkinson's says, as soon as that VA disability check kicks in, I will definitely register for the class. I super appreciate that. But I do want to say that I really, truly only want you to enroll if you feel as though you're in a good financial position to do so. I realize that it's an investment to do this. And if investing in the program will put you in any sort of precarious financial position for your family, like you won't be able to pay rent or your mortgage or groceries or bills or whatever, I do not want you to sign up. Like I really, truly, that's not the intention of this. I don't want your money if that's like the case. I really want you to get into like a better financial place before you make that investment. And so I hope it's like obvious by now that like, I'm not doing this for money. Like I really, truly am not. I'm like reducing, I literally just kind of like open sourced all my knowledge here. And like, I'll just be real. Like my course enrollments had gone way down since I published the book. And I kind of knew that was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to happen this much. So that's a little surprising. But I wanted to, as many people to have this knowledge as possible. And I knew that would probably mean that some people would, would not enroll in the course because they could get the information for like, a lot less of a price. But I just feel so compelled to like, it's honestly one of the reasons why I'm so bullish and doubling down on the coaching program, because I'm seeing so many results from people who are in that, because it's so helpful, right? I got this email from a brand. I don't know what to do. How much do I charge? What packages should I put together? All that. The course is great, of course, but like at the end of the day, I think it's most useful if you can like get direct support with the opportunities that are, that are on the table for you. And so that really is what I'm going to be building my business towards. But there is still so much value in the program. So, Benji's dad said, the course is epic. It's changed my whole perspective on how to get deals. It's even improved my negotiating skills in everything in general. Benji's dad, I super, super appreciate that, man. And yeah, thank you. Living with Parkinson's says it will not, put me in a bind. I can definitely afford it. Okay. Glad to hear it. I just wanted to mention that. Derek says, my bills are covered with my full-time job, but I want to get the course once I have earned extra money from sponsors. Super appreciate that, man. Really, really do. All right, everyone. Thank you so much again for showing up here each and every week on the live streams. I do want to mention there is not going to be a live stream next week because I am going to be in San Antonio for my live event. So I'm super, super excited for that. So won't be here next week, but hopefully we'll be able to see me the following week. All right, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. Peace.